Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
So if you're going to install a smart lock on your door, it's got to work every single time. And so the couple of things you're going to be looking for are ease of use and the fact that it works, and what does it look like? How easy is it to use, especially if you have a family? So smart products may work for one individual that installs them, but it's got to work for everybody. So I have a big family. We have several kids, and so I was very curious when Ghome wanted to send me this smart lock, whether or not it would work. They wanted to see it work too. So full disclosure, they did send me this. However, this is not a sponsored video, and I'm not getting paid for the video. But this is a palm reading smart lock, and we were really curious as to how quickly it would work. I don't want to wait for my door to unlock, and so I'm going to install it. I'm going to show you how it sets up. We're going to unbox it before all that, and I'll show you how it didn't work with all of my family. So stay tuned. I've been using a keypad lock for years and years. We had it at a different house before this one. We've had it at this house for 11 years. This is a different one. I've changed them out. This one's a little bit better for battery life, but it's not a smart lock. So for the first time, we're going to install a smart lock and try it out. So this one's been really convenient because we have kids. We're coming and going a lot. We don't use a physical key. We haven't used one in I can't remember when. But with this one, we can both punch in the code and use a palm vein technology that we're going to set up. So we're going to take a look at this and see how it works, if it works as efficiently, as quickly as just the physical lock has. And if so, we'll keep it. So a few installation instructions are going to be important, especially the measurements. This is really nicely packaged. It's a really nice device. Physical key. So I'll show you these things as I set it up on the door, but you have a two-piece system with any kind of lock that you're installing. Deadbolt is going to have an indoor and an outdoor component, and I'll show you this as I go, but these will essentially go together and work. So you have an indoor side, and the outdoor side is going to have the digital part and the ability to read your palms. So I'll show you that obviously as we get there. This would probably be the battery. This device markets itself with a very, very sturdy battery that will last 8 months on a charge, and that is when you are opening the door 10 times a day. Now 10 may sound like a lot to you. We have a busy family, as I'm going to show you later, and that may be short of how many times we will do this. So the funny thing is, the lock we have right now is a battery powered lock, and so many times we exit the house and then we realize we've forgotten something, so we come back and punch in the code to come back in, and then we have to relock it. So it's like every time we exit, we're actually exiting twice. You probably do that too. Another plate for fitting in the middle, and some hardware, I would imagine here. I'll show you all these as we go through the installation. So I've got everything set up to begin the installation, and I'm going to set the timer here to see how long it takes me. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for an hour, though I don't think it will be that long. Hey Google, set a 1 hour timer.
Sure, 1 hour, and we're starting now.
And that way we'll keep up with how long it actually takes. I think I have everything on hand. The other lock came out easily, so we will get started here. So you can see here I've already removed the old lock. It came out easily, but again, I've done this before, so I put that one in, and so it's fairly easy to take out. Sometimes if a lock's been in there a long time, you may have a little trouble if the screws are stripped or something else won't come loose. It can take a little bit longer than expected, so always give yourself extra time for a project. So as I showed, I have my tools laid out. I don't think I'll have to do any drilling for my project, but for this template to check it and see where things need to go, I think mine's going to go in fairly easily with the existing location of everything. So it's the right size. So there will be an inside and outside component to this, and you're probably going to, the existing dimensions should fit. If they don't, you can buy a helpful kit to help make this hole exactly the way it needs to be. Go to your local hardware store, you could get one of those. You will need a drill to make that happen as well. It's doable. It's not the easiest. I had to do it for a friend's door one time and they weren't there. I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to drill it just right and I was going to have to buy them a whole new door. But nonetheless, it went okay and I got the lock installed. So for this one, I think the hole is going to be in exactly the right place, which is going to make the whole installation go even better. And we're down to 56.5 minutes. First part is going to be the installation of the actual deadbolt itself. So one of my curiosities with this was the quality of the deadbolt. So part of your home security is having quality things installed. So part of that means having long screws put into your plate where your deadbolt fits into your door so that your door can't be kicked open. And part of that is also having a good solid deadbolt. Now I may have to come up with a test for that later. I don't have a real way to do that just by looking at it, but we will look at this one and see how it seems to measure up to that. So one end of this is going to have an up sign on it. If you can find that, you gotta make sure you put it in the right side. So this has to go in first in order for everything else to thread through it. This is what the actual deadbolt lock is going to come out of. And I'm going to use my power screwdriver for this part. Anytime I'm putting screws into wood, I'll choose that. The screws that I'm putting in to metal, though, I will choose to use a regular screwdriver because that reduces the risk of potentially over tightening, stripping the threads. No. We're installing a door lock.
Yeah.
The doorbells are separate, so.
Is the door lock installed?
No, I've just started. I am now 8 minutes into the installation. I had to take a little time out there to tell the dog to be quiet. These are actually really good instructions. A lot of smart home devices don't come with much in terms of instructions, but this instruction manual is very nice, very detailed, very good quality images. So I would have been curious to try to install it without the instructions, which is usually what I do with a lot of things, but since we're doing this for a high quality YouTube video, we're going to use the instruction manual. So let's remove this tape from the exterior as I get ready to put it in here. So here we're going to thread through the connecting cables underneath. We're going to get the little pin to go through the hole. And there are two more, basically what will connect the screws that need to align. Once that is all aligned, I want to make sure it looks pretty straight on the outside. That's what it looks like on the outside. I think it's a nice looking lock, so it doesn't look cheap at all. It looks like high quality and it looks good on the exterior. Back to the interior view. I'm actually going to try the key here to make sure we have everything lined up, because these silly to go on if it's not going to line up. It does come with a physical key. I like that. I think you still need a physical key somewhere as a backup. I will keep mine in a little code box outside, as I have done with our spare key or emergency key. Okay, this is a bracket that's going to go on next. For ease here, I'm going to close the door. I believe the bracket's going to go with these. It has a couple of little
Daddy, I keep
holes
seeing
here.
Disney Cruise commercials.
Well, that's ridiculous. Who would go on a Disney cruise? You don't install anything to the wood on your door. It's all the lock installing to itself. Is that secure? It is. All the screws are inside the house. So get both of these threaded so you can make sure that they're going in straight. There are different screws for this part depending on the size of your door. So you go back to that initial template. Make sure that these thread correctly. That one's not wanting to go. There it goes. And then you can tighten them down. So what this should do, because you're putting two screws in, this should line itself up automatically. There shouldn't be a whole lot of worry on this end. If you've gotten the outside straight up and down, then this part is going to screw into it and still be at a perfect angle for the rest of your installation. For the record, we're now at 42 minutes, so we are almost 18 minutes in. Okay, so for finishing installing this part, we're going to be using the B and the C screws. Alright, so this is the connection for the power to the outer part, and this is going to connect all the stuff inside. So there's a pin here. You're just going to make sure that you line it up correctly with the where it slides in on the thing. So it should only go in one way, and if it's not going in easily, you don't want to force it, but it should just click in there. Give a little tug to make sure it's secure. So, and then you're going to want to make sure your wires are tucked in, because this is going to need to turn, so you want to make sure that this is free to turn once your lock is operational. So what has to happen here is this has to fit onto there. And that time it went. So we're lined up. We pull off the sticker here. And then we want to try the lock. All right, so we did have the lock. I just wasn't willing to force it there. So we are unlocked, but it will lock. So that's what we're looking for. So we have that much installed, and we are at 36 minutes on the clock. We are 24 minutes into the project. Okay, so the B screw. The screw that comes out of the B package. It's going to go in the bottom here. Something's not right. My screwdriver's too fat. Alright, so I lost a minute or two there finding the screwdriver that it will work. So this is something to note if you're watching this before you start this project. You're going to need a thin, smaller screwdriver to fit in this spot. My regular size screwdrivers were not able to get in here and handle this little screw in its little slot. So most people have a few screwdrivers laying around the house. So check for a little one somewhere, maybe one used for batteries. It's a Phillips head screw, but it's just a really small slot. Now I've got to get this part lined up again. Not only do you have to line it up, but you have to get it lined up with the wiring so that the wiring isn't blocking the way. Alright. Now see if this screwdriver will be the one to get this job done. Alright, that went in as it should. So I don't know what size screwdriver this would be, but let me show it to you. So if this is my regular Phillips screwdriver, this is the one I had in my electrical bag. I use sometimes with smaller screws for electric boxes and stuff. So you're going to need something smaller because this one just wouldn't fit in that space. It's just a thinner one that you're going to need for this little screw. The bigger one not only wouldn't fit in the spot, but I think it's going to be too big for the screw head. Okay, this is also comes with the B screw. It's just a little cover to go over that hole. Just push it in there till it stays. And the C screws are also very small screws. So I imagine we're going to need this small screwdriver, if not even a smaller one. So these two screws are going to go in these two holes. So tiny screws, but they're going to go into the plate to hold everything together. All right, according to the countdown clock, we are now approaching 24 minutes. So we are 36 minutes into the project. All right, so inserting the battery, it is already charged. I'm just gonna push it in there and slide the cover on. You can see the door just locked itself when I put the battery in. That is the end of our physical setup on the door. Unless I've done something wrong, we will call that at 38 minutes, 37 and a half. So you can go to the App Store for this. I'm on an iPhone, so mine's from the App Store, the Google Play Store. You can use these codes in the booklet to get there as well. It's going to be an app called Ghome. I've used this before, had a few of these products. Alright, so this is a long press. I'm supposed to get 7 beeps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Press the unlock button to confirm.
Now we're going to press the unlock button. It's down here. It's kind of hard to see. So we just did that. Now I'm going to enter a password.
Operation succeeded. Add credentials, press 1. Delete credentials, press 2. Add password, press 1. Add palm vein, press 2. Please input a 6 to 8 digit password. Press the unlock button to confirm.
Abby?
Please input again.
Alright, so the keyboard light is flashing. I'm checking that. Hitting next. We're going to connect it here to my Wi-Fi. Don't look at my password.
Connection succeeded. Add credentials, press 1. Delete credentials, press 2. Modify administrator's password, press 3. Settings, press 4. Network settings, press 5. Press the lock button to go.
So it was fairly easy for us to input all my children's palms in this and my wife and get them all set up so that it was reading them. We had a very consistent approach with this. I had to redo one of my daughter's palms. It was not reading it every time, but once we redid it, it was doing it quite quickly. So my children are ages 9 to 17. And we come and go a lot. So here I've got my hand wet in the rain. It is soaking wet, and put it up to the reader and it read it fairly quickly with no problem. Here I put a glove on my hand just to see if what would happen. It didn't sense anything there. And here I took a up-close picture of my palm. I didn't think this would work, but just wanted to see. And just like the glove, it didn't recognize it at all. So I would assume it would not be easy to trick the machine into thinking that something else was going on.
So one of the neat security features is one of your hands can be a silent alert. So if someone is forcing you to enter and you put up your opposite hand to the one you usually use, that would send a notification to, say, the administrator. So if one of my kids was being forced into the house, they could use the opposite hand. I would get a notification, something was wrong, and check on that quickly. As soon as I get ready to put my hand up there, and just see how quickly it unlocks, because if it's not quick, we're not going to like it, right? So here we go. I'm going to hit start as soon as I put my palm in front of the lock.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
I actually may want to switch mine to my left hand because of the way our door is set up. We'll look into that because it's a little awkward for me.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
Okay, did you see how quickly that happened? I didn't even mean to.
Locked.
Alright, timer, go.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
Alright, so it was like 2 seconds.
So I did a lot of testing of the lock and how quickly it would open, and we've probably opened it a few hundred times at this point, and it has never taken more than 2 to 3 seconds to register, and sometimes it's even quicker than that. So that's, to me, that's one of the main things that I'm looking for. It's got to consistently open quickly or we can't use it, and it has been very quick to unlock in all of our experiments. With the timer and without the timer, people are getting in easily. So final thoughts here on the Ghome smart lock with vein recognition palm technology is, hey, we're going to keep using it. We like the way it functions. I like the way it looks. I think it's a good, secure smart lock. So what I can't tell you yet is how well the battery is going to hold up. We are a heavy use family. We are in and out. We are unlocking and locking. We usually leave and then forget something, so we have to come back in. So it's like every time we leave, it's 2 times. Anyway, at this point, I can certainly recommend this. It's a good smart lock. It installs easily, it sets up nicely, and it's worked for all of us in all of our situations. So hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.